The rain fell heavily over the glowing streets of Seoul, turning the city into a sea of blurred neon lights and restless shadows. Thousands of people hurried through the night, unaware that destiny was quietly preparing a collision between two souls who were never supposed to remain strangers. Inside a dim recording studio, Wang sat alone with headphones resting around his neck. The room smelled faintly of coffee and old memories. He stared blankly at the unfinished lyrics glowing on the computer screen. Fame surrounded him everywhere he went, yet silence had become his closest companion. The producer sighed from behind the glass window. "Yibo, you've recorded the same line 13 times. Yibo leaned back in his chair, exhaustion hidden behind his calm expression. "It still doesn't feel real," he replied quietly. Outside the studio, thunder cracked across the sky. At that exact moment, miles away in another building, Zhan stood in front of a massive crowd at a fan meeting. Cameras flashed endlessly around him like lightning. Fans screamed his name with overwhelming passion, but his smile slowly faded the second he stepped backstage. The manager handed him a towel. "You did great." Zhan nodded politely, but his eyes looked distant. Sometimes the loudest applause only made loneliness feel heavier. He walked toward the dressing room corridor, stopping briefly when he heard someone softly playing piano nearby. The melody was hauntingly beautiful, almost painful. For some reason, it made his chest tighten. Meanwhile, Yibo finally stood from the studio chair and grabbed his jacket. "I need air," he muttered. The producer didn't stop him. The rain outside had become violent now. Cars splashed through puddles while cold winds swept across the city. Yibo walked aimlessly beneath the storm without opening his umbrella. He liked the rain. It drowned the noise in his head. Then suddenly, screech! A speeding motorcycle lost control around a corner, skidding violently across the wet road. People screamed. A child frozen in fear stood directly in its path. Without thinking, Yibo sprinted forward. At the exact same time, someone else rushed from the opposite direction. Both men grabbed the child just before the motorcycle crashed into a nearby pole with a deafening impact. The world seemed to stop. Rain poured between them as they both held onto the frightened child. Their eyes met. For a brief second, everything around them disappeared: the noise, the crowd, the storm. Just two strangers staring at each other like they had met before in another lifetime. Zhan slowly let go of the child first. "You okay?" he asked softly. The child nodded shakily before running toward his crying mother. Neither Yibo nor Zhan moved. Recognition slowly appeared across their faces. "You're..." "Yeah," Yibo answered calmly. A strange silence followed. Not awkward. Not uncomfortable. Just familiar. Almost dangerous. The rain continued falling around them as flashing police lights reflected across the wet streets. Zhan laughed quietly. "This is probably the strangest first meeting ever." Yibo smirked slightly for the first time in weeks. "I've had stranger." Their managers arrived moments later in complete panic after recognizing who stood before them. "Oh my God, do you know how bad this would look if reporters saw this? Let's leave before someone records anything." But before they separated, Zhan looked back. "Maybe fate wanted us to meet tonight." Yibo stared at him silently. Then he replied with words neither of them would forget. "Maybe fate got tired of waiting." Days passed. But neither man could stop thinking about the other. Yibo found himself replaying the rain-soaked moment over and over again while riding his motorcycle through empty midnight streets. Zhan caught himself smiling randomly during interviews whenever someone mentioned destiny. It made no sense. They barely knew each other. Yet somehow it felt like something unfinished had finally begun. One evening, fate intervened again. Both were unexpectedly invited to the same luxury charity gala in Shanghai. The ballroom shimmered beneath golden chandeliers while celebrities and executives filled the room with polished smiles and rehearsed conversations. Yibo hated events like this. Zhan tolerated them. When they spotted each other across the ballroom, the noise around them seemed to fade once more. Zhan approached first. "You clean up well." Yibo raised an eyebrow. "You're surprised?" "A little." Yibo chuckled softly. That small laugh nearly stopped Zhan's heartbeat. Because beneath Yibo's cold exterior was something unexpectedly warm. Something real. As the night continued, they drifted away from the crowd and found themselves on a quiet balcony overlooking the glowing city skyline. Wind brushed softly against their suits. You ever feel trapped? Zhan suddenly asked. Yibo looked at him carefully. All the time. The honesty shocked Zhan. Most people around fame wore masks so often they forgot their real faces. But Yibo answered like someone who understood pain too well to lie about it. Zhan leaned against the railing. People think success fixes loneliness. And does it? No. The city lights reflected in Yibo's eyes. Loneliness gets worse when everyone thinks you're happy. For a moment, neither spoke. Then Zhan smiled faintly. That might be the most honest thing anyone said to me in years. Below them, cameras flashed from outside the hotel entrance. Inside, music echoed through the ballroom. But on that balcony, time slowed. And somewhere deep within them, two lonely hearts quietly began recognizing home. Weeks turned into months. Their friendship grew in secret. Late-night phone calls became routine. Random messages turned into endless conversations that lasted until sunrise. They explored quiet bookstores hidden in alleyways. Shared midnight street food under hooded jackets to avoid recognition. Raced motorcycles through empty roads outside the city. Laughed harder than either of them had in years. For the first time in a long time, they felt alive. One winter night, snow covered the rooftops of Beijing in white silence. Yibo and Zhan sat on the rooftop of a private apartment building wrapped in thick coats while drinking hot tea. The city sparkled beneath them like stars fallen to earth. Unconscious beneath dim lights with bruises across his face and bandages wrapped around his shoulder. Machines beeped softly beside him. For the first time since meeting him, Zhan looked truly afraid. He slowly sat beside the bed. You idiot, he whispered shakily. No response. Zhan lowered his head, emotions breaking through completely. Do you know what it felt like hearing you might not wake up? Tears filled his eyes. Outside, thunder echoed across the night sky. Then suddenly, a weak voice interrupted the silence. You crying for me? Zhan's head snapped upward. Yibo's eyes slowly opened with the faintest smirk. Relief hit Zhan so hard he almost laughed and cried at the same time. You're unbelievable. Yibo winced painfully while trying to sit up. Doctor says I'm still handsome. Zhan rolled his eyes while tears still clung to his lashes. That accident nearly killed you and you're joking. Yibo looked at him quietly now. No. His voice softened deeply. I'm serious about one thing though. The room became still. Yibo reached for his hand weakly. And for the first time since destiny forced their paths together beneath the rain, he finally said the truth neither could hide anymore. I don't want a life where you're missing from it. Zhan's breath caught. Years of fear, silence, pressure, and longing collapsed in that single moment. He squeezed Yibo's hand tightly. Then don't leave me behind. Outside the hospital, the storm slowly began fading. Months later, both men disappeared temporarily from the spotlight. Rumors exploded everywhere. Some claimed conflict. Others claimed secret projects. The truth remained hidden. Far away from cameras and chaos,